This place would give somebody a start. This was here at the nick of time. I was in pain and hurting. This is my room. You can't do anything living off the street. You have to be able to rest, sleep at night. Got my music, my Bible, my bed. That's how I live, my closet. I sit there and watch TV when I'm not reading. And I make it a home. You supply hope. Without hope, it's just a dead cause.
Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative is a collaborative of congregations committed to ending homelessness. We've completed 16 apartment buildings, and about half of those serve people who've been homeless and are in supportive housing.
American House is kind of like independence.
At Better Futures, we work with men with various barriers, unemployment, homelessness, mental health issues, those who've been incarcerated.
I was incarcerated. I know it's a horrible thing. You have a record now. You're demoralized. You know, I'm through. I messed up now. I'm doomed.
We work with them to provide housing, employment, life skill coaching, and health and wellness services so that they can reach a more stable path in their life.
You got to be able to start somewhere and say, okay, now I got a chance. I can do something with my life. All wasn't lost.
We don't minimize negative choices they've made in their past, but we don't magnify them either. We believe in redemption.
Great River Landing is going to be a community of men who are committed to transforming their lives and breaking that cycle of homelessness and unemployment that has caused them to not be able to live up to their full potential.
It's continued to be a challenge for us to find housing with landlords that would rent to our men, that are affordable, and so this was just a wonderful collaboration that we've been able to build.
People are called through their faith to speak on behalf of others that might feel powerless or have no voice in the politics in the community. We have 70 congregations involved in the work that we're doing.
And we thought, if our two churches can't rise to that challenge, who will?
To care for those who are the most vulnerable is throughout every part of Scripture. It's really a religious commitment to work for the sake of justice.
Great River Landing is an initiative, meaning that it's a vision and it's a dream, and we are right now in the process of building that community support to build the 48-unit apartment building.
Hopefully cut the ribbon in 2 or 3 years and provide a long-term solution to the men that we serve.
Prison is hell. Hell on earth. I basically say just give somebody a chance. Because in my heart I honestly changed. I don't want the same, I don't want to be that same person.
Served my time and I'm going in a new direction now. Feel that I have to work my way back up there and earn people's trust. I'm a strong believer, if you're doing good, good gonna come to you.
When I go out and talk to people all over the state of Minnesota about what the continuing challenges are for us, it is almost entirely, how are we ever going to get people who have a criminal record into housing that they can afford, that's stable, and that they're connected to their communities. So the fact that this project is addressing head-on one of our biggest challenges, I think, is one of the most positive messages.
One of the realities about incarceration is that if you are a felon, you can discriminate in housing, you can discriminate in employment, you can discriminate in public services, you can discriminate in voting. They're denied access to most of those categories.
What happens is we put people in a system of incarceration and never let them take the scarlet letter off.
Housing is absolutely one of the most crucial components of reentry into the community. Without it, nothing else is really stable. It's very difficult to maintain employment when you don't know where you're going to lay your head the night before you go to work.
both locally and nationally, we've demonstrated that if you integrate the services right into the housing, that's how you break that cycle of homelessness. And so that's what we're doing at Great River Landing. It's both the community among the men and the staff support that's right there, and of course, the stability of affordable housing.
We have what we call as a prosperity plan, their educational goals, their health and wellness goals, their family engagement goals, their employment goals.
Employment, school, mental health services, chemical dependency services.
Right now I do deconstruction. It entails recycling homes.
The men are working and will pay rent.
Work matters. We believe that there's an intrinsic value to work. People walk differently, they talk differently, they have a sense of pride about them when they have a job.
They're showing them how to write checks. They're helping them to open up a bank account. They're talking to them about why it's important to be on time to your job, why it's important to be respectful to other people. They may have children and child support issues, so they're directing them to go and deal with it appropriately.
And it's those links to supports and community and connectedness that will make them successful and that we know prevent recidivism back into the corrections institutions.
They're whites, they're Latinos, they're Hmong, I mean, there's some of everybody that's in the state, but it's African American predominantly.
The majority of those are African American because of the housing disparities that we have in our society.
I mean, we know that 5% of the entire state's population are African American, and yet 37% of all people who are homeless are African American.
And men are typically the last people to receive some sort of support, in particular, men of color.
I look at somebody who comes out of jail at age 28 to 30. And if they're going to be on public assistance for the next 35 years, do you want to calculate how much that's going to cost this community? I want to invest in them and give them a chance to get on the right path and to have their own job, to reconnect with their families, to be a productive member of society. To me, if you look at the return on investment, this is a no-brainer.
We really think it is about society making choices. You know, we can continue to spend lots of taxpayer dollars building more prisons, or we can in fact transform lives and start building homes.
When we did Nicholas Square, it's a 42-unit supportive housing for long-term homeless youth and youth aging out of foster care. And there were people who were just completely bent out of shape that you were inviting those teenagers into their neighborhood. The NIMBY, the Night in My Backyard, is almost always about stereotypes. It's not about the actual people who end up living there.
I was a neighbor. I was a neighborhood business. I sat in on a couple of those meetings and heard the fear. And I have really enjoyed getting to know them as an employer, as a neighbor. I currently have 3 of the young adults who I hired on as staff, not because they're residents of the square and I felt like I needed to hire them. They are a part of this community. They have developed skills that can serve this community, and we all get to grow as a staff by having them here.
Can we just learn to maybe stand in their shoes and think, what could I do that would be helpful? Can I wait and see if they really are as scary as I think they are? Because most people aren't.
This is my one and only, this is my daughter, my baby. It's part of the reason why I live today, to make sure her life is a little better than mine.
90% of our men are fathers, and so it is a huge motivating factor for them to be able to spend some time with their children in a place that they call their own.
There'll be a playground and there'll be a guest room where the children can periodically spend the night, and a rec room.
They can be fathers, they can be dads.
This is a group of men that have committed to making changes in their lives.
We're taking their dependence off of systems, off of the criminal justice system, off of the Department of Health, off of the Department of Human Services. Men are paying child support, they're contributing to the economy, they're paying taxes.
That not only helps create Great River Landing, but makes us a stronger community.
A better community.
When we reach across both our faith and race lines to build relationships with each other.
If you're just coming out of prison, you actually feel like I have no hope. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll take out, put some hot dogs on. But I was able to get something solid going on. Be able to be a man, be able to contribute to society, be about something, you know, not just, I got a record, I'm homeless, ain't nothing I can do. If you want help, you can find help here.